It's not on the front page of the Wall Street Journal, there are no breaking news banners, but make no mistake, America's influence is unraveling. As U.S. diplomacy stalls, China is signing billion-dollar rail deals, ramping up military drills, and locking the U.S. out of crucial trade pacts. These moves are happening quietly, but they're rewriting the global balance of power. Here are 10 countries that are silently choosing China over the U.S., and when we reach number 1, you'll see just how far Washington has already fallen. Number 1, Russia. Russia and China are forging the strongest strategic axis on the planet. A massive gas pipeline supplies China with over 30 billion cubic meters annually. Chinese semiconductors help Russia bypass Western tech sanctions. UN, China, and Russia vote together 96% of the time. Their militaries conduct billion-dollar joint drills, and Russia holds $75 billion in Chinese currency. A direct payment system bypasses US-controlled channels. Joint research labs drive advances in aerospace and biotech. 63% of Russians see China as their most reliable partner. The global power shift is here. Power doesn't always shift through war. Sometimes it shifts through deals, military drills, and currency swaps made behind closed doors. These 10 countries didn't announce a break with America, but their actions tell the story of a world tilting eastward. Number 2. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's future is increasingly tied to China. Oil exports to China top $65 billion per year. China is funding $20 billion worth of infrastructure projects, including rail and 5G. UN voting alignment with China now stands at 88%. Joint military training and arms deals are deepening defense ties. The Saudi central bank added $40 billion in Chinese reserves and initiated oil trades in yuan. Academic collaboration includes a $300 million Chinese language and research center. Cultural ties are deepening too, with festivals and exchanges growing annually. 54% of Saudis now see China as their primary growth and security partner. Number 3, United Arab Emirates. The UAE has built a strategic bridge with China across energy, tech, and finance. Energy exports to China exceed $30 billion annually. Chinese naval vessels now regularly visit UAE ports. Financial hubs like Dubai have launched a $3 billion renminbi pool for direct Chinese currency transactions. Joint research in smart cities and urban transport systems is thriving through partnerships with Chinese universities. Mandarin language learning is on the rise, and 49% of UAE residents now consider China their top partner in tech and development. For 4, South Africa. South Africa's economic recovery is now tied to China. Emergency loans totaling $35 billion have stabilized the economy. Annual trade exceeds $84 billion, driven by mineral exports. South Africa votes with China in 90% of UN decisions. Joint peacekeeping drills and military training have integrated Chinese protocols into local forces. Johannesburg now hosts Africa's first yuan clearing center, reducing dollar reliance. Chinese-funded research in agriculture and water management has overtaken Western efforts. 57% of South Africans now rank China above the US as their most critical partner. For 5, Indonesia. Indonesia's infrastructure and maritime ambitions are now backed by Beijing. The $6 billion Jakarta-Bandung high-speed rail project is funded by China without Western strings attached. Trade between the nations nears $150 billion, supported by energy and palm oil exports. Indonesia now participates in joint maritime patrols and has established a $10 billion currency swap line with China. Academic collaborations fund renewable energy and disaster preparedness programs, and over 8,000 Indonesians are enrolled in Chinese exchange programs. Most Indonesian business leaders see China as the key to modernization. For 6, Turkey. Turkey has quietly recalibrated its global strategy. Trade with China has surged past $75 billion, supported by textile, machinery, and electronics exports. A Chinese consortium is building a $3 billion power plant in southern Turkey with no Western involvement. Turkey now votes with China in the UN on over 77% of sovereignty-related resolutions. Naval drills in the Mediterranean are strengthening bilateral defense ties. Turkey has also increased its reserve holdings in Chinese currency and launched digital yuan payment systems for tourism. Research programs in smart infrastructure now outpace Western collaborations, and nearly half of Turkish British citizens trust Beijing's economic direction over Washington's. For 7, Malaysia. Malaysia's growth strategy now leans heavily on Chinese investment. A $10 billion China-backed industrial park in Johor Bahru fuels electronics and automotive sectors. Bilateral trade stands at $150 billion, fueled by palm oil, semiconductors, and rubber. Malaysia often supports China's maritime proposals and has hosted joint naval patrols. A $5 billion currency swap allows local banks to conduct transactions in yuan, cutting dollar dependency. Academic and tech alliances are thriving, with $200 million in joint research pushing advancements in biotech and farming. Mandarin language schools are booming, and nearly half the population now trusts China more than the US for future growth. 8. Argentina. Desperate for reliable credit and tech, Argentina is drawing closer to China. The China Development Bank provides flexible loans for essential goods, bypassing Western conditionalities. Over $3 billion in Chinese investment has gone into lithium mining, making Argentina a key player in the global battery market. The central bank has launched yuan trading desks in major cities, reducing dependency on the US dollar. Argentina now votes with China on 65% of UN resolutions. Chinese drones and radars have entered the defense sector via a $600 million deal. Chinese language programs now outnumber those funded by the US, and 48% of Argentinians now consider China their primary strategic partner. Number 9. Brazil. Brazil is shifting gears away from Washington and straight into Beijing's orbit. Exports of soybeans and iron ore to China have climbed 20%, while US demand has stagnated. The China Development Bank issued a $4.5 billion loan to revamp Brazil's key ports, installing Chinese tech and sidelining Western finance. Brazil now votes with China 70% of the time in global forums. Naval drills with the PLA have started in the South China Sea, a historic first for South America. Renminbi settlement is now possible in Sao Paulo, bypassing the dollar altogether. Over 10,000 Brazilians are learning Mandarin through Confucius Institutes, and 53% of Brazil's business leaders now name China as their top partner. 10. Hungary. Hungary has become China's key entry point into the European Union. The relationship spans infrastructure, trade, defense, and education. Bilateral trade reached over 22 billion euro, driven by Hungarian exports like pork, dairy, and automotive parts. China's Exim Bank financed a $2 billion upgrade of the Budapest-Belgrade Railway, with zero involvement from Western lender. Diplomatically, Hungary aligns with China on over 80% of UN votes concerning human rights and global security. PLA observers now participate in military exercises inside Hungary, and Budapest has adopted digital yuan trials in banking networks to cut dollar transaction fees. Universities are now partnering with China's top academic institutions, while public trust in China's economic leadership now rivals, even surpasses, that of the US. If this gave you a new perspective, hit like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments which country surprised you the most. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned.